this is my experience from last Sunday. And this was a back-to-back out-of-body experience and virtual reality experience. This was by a possible newbie reptilian that gave me this experience. But I think he's probably given me experiences before, but it's probably been a while. But this was like a pending huge asteroid hit. But it was just, you know, I don't believe they mean anything from it. Now move! Say the word, move, damn it. Oh my God. But yeah, so this is my reptilian alien abduction to outer space, pending huge asteroid hit. And this experience was different, man. It was weird and different. And that's why I think maybe it was a newbie reptilian that came forward to give me this experience. But he could have given me other ones, like that one to the hotel, the ritzy hotel lobby. Because that reptilian being, he's not perverted at all. And, you know, there was some similarities between this one and that one, where the way he abducted me. So yeah, so I don't know if this was necessarily a newbie reptilian. Because to that ritzy hotel lobby pool, I can put that video on here, but he abducted me, like he got right in front of me and just, it was weird. Like it was like he was like a big old refrigerator that just got right in front of me, and then I was like paralyzed. But he didn't show me his face or anything, but in this experience I actually kind of saw him a little bit. But in this experience he actually grabbed hold of me really tight, but he wasn't a mean one. So I don't know. This could have been the same one that gave me that other one. I don't know. Possibly not though. So this could have been a newbie reptilian, but probably not. I would just have to go back and look at my experiences and see similarities. Okay, so this was my reptilian alien abduction by a newbie reptile, possible newbie reptile, out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience, pending asteroid hit. I guess I can title it that. Okay, oh my God, these two back-to-back abductions just brought back a memory in 2008 when I was getting groggy at work, leaning back in my chair, and I saw a virtual reality scene of an asteroid in outer space heading towards Earth. My consciousness was literally south, you know, behind the asteroid, and in outer space, south of planet Earth, outside of Earth. I was looking at the asteroid, you know, heading north towards planet Earth. I think the computer system was down and I was just like getting bored and I was like conking out in my seat. The computer system was down, and yeah, I remember it. It was in 2008. But I didn't know the aliens were in my life at that time. Okay, then a few days later, I saw a heading. This was just a few days after this vision, this virtual reality vision. The aliens stuck in my consciousness when I was getting groggy at work. Then a few days later, I saw the heading on Yahoo, asteroid headed towards planet Earth. But that it wouldn't happen till like, I thought it said something like 2085. It was something like that, or it said something like 800 years in the future, that this big old asteroid wouldn't hit Earth. Okay, and then a few days after that, I was listening to an episode on Coast to Coast, and this gay-sounding dude was talking about how he saw an asteroid heading towards Earth, but that he saw Mother God hold up her hand, or some shit like that, and he perceived the whole event that the economic collapse would stop, that there wouldn't be an economic collapse. So he thought, he actually saw an asteroid going towards Earth, but Mother Earth held up her hand and stopped it, And he thought it meant something about an economic collapse would not happen. But it did happen anyway in 2008. It did happen. But I guess the big one, the big one they always talk about. But it did collapse in 2008. So anyway, so when I had this weird abduction, these two back-to-back abductions, it brought back that memory. I mean, I never forgot about it. I just didn't think about it. From 2008. And like I say, it was just boom. Like 2 days later, it was on Yahoo. Asteroid heading towards Earth. And then a couple days later, I saw the Coast to Coast episode of this gay-sounding dude talking about how he saw an asteroid heading towards Earth. So, yeah, that was very, very, very interesting. Of course, I don't really believe it or anything. I mean, the aliens can put anything in your, they can create all this virtual reality stuff, but I don't believe any of it. But yeah, there may be one that hits, not in our lifetime. Okay, so, but anyway, back in 2008, I took all my money out and put it into low-risk stocks. Because the news kept saying the stock market is crashing for several consecutive days. And I had my money in the high risk, so I put it over to the low risk so I wouldn't lose any money. Okay, that experience has nothing to do with these two abductions. That experience from 2008 has nothing to do with these two abductions last Sunday. But my point is, the aliens like to screw with our heads pertaining to Earth catastrophes. I do believe now the aliens gave me that virtual reality scene back in 2008. Okay, back to my abductions on June 12th, 2016. I think I need my damn glasses. The Reptilian, this Reptilian was awesome, and I believe he could have been a newbie, but I possibly believe he has given me experiences before, but maybe not in a couple years at least. He was very nice. He could have given me that abduction where he plopped me down in that ritzy hotel lobby pool. I can put that abduction on here. I already mentioned that. This abduction was awesome and different. I don't know why this being somehow mind controlled me to think he was giving me a worthless, shitty experience, or I was being an asshole and I thought I was getting a substandard abduction. And I told him so. Okay, so it took me like 2 hours after waking up back in 3D to think back and say, what the fuck? That was the most awesome freaking abduction. I don't know why I thought when I was in my groggy state that this abduction would not be good enough to talk about. I actually had those thoughts while he sent me back to my body after this abduction, but I was still in a somewhat, groggy state of brain, of mind. This out-of-body abduction and virtual reality experience happened around 11 a.m., and it started out with me literally floating and doing backflips in outer space. I was literally in outer space, whether real or artificial, and the reptilian being was holding me tightly. After we did some backflips and stuff, he started holding me really, really tightly with his arms. I couldn't even move or anything. I could not see his face in that tight position. I was not scared, but I wanted to see his face and what he looked like. So I sort of fought his arms away from me, and he let go of me. I remember I actually was like pushing him away from me, and he let me. And he let go of me. I started floating. There was no gravity. There was no sun. It was darkish, but I could see just fine. It was just kind of like, I don't know. It was like dusk, I guess. Yeah, like dusk. Kind of like, I guess, hell is. Hell is dusk. I've been there a couple times. Yeah, so it was darkish, but I could still see. It was like dusk. He started floating away from me as he let go of me, sort of to my northeast of my body. I looked at him float away from me and couldn't see his face features real well, but I did see that he had heavy military green helmet on. That's why he did have a helmet on, so that was kind of interesting. And I'm familiar with those, helmets. He maybe got that in my brain from when I was in the Army. Back a long time ago, we had the heavy metal green helmet that we put on. Yeah, what a fucking nightmare, man. Okay, so anyway, I can't believe I was such a dumb fuck and actually did that. God, I'm so freaking stupid. Okay, so, okay, there was no sun, it was darkish, but I could see. It was dusk. He started floating away from me as he let go of me, sort of northeast of my body. I looked at him float away from me, and I couldn't see his face features real well, but I did see that he had a heavy military green helmet on. Then we both started doing backflips in no gravity in outer space. This experience was so gnarly and fun. He never traveled farther than about 30 feet away from me when we both let go of each other. He was just there about, maybe not even 30 feet, maybe like 20 feet. And I actually got to see him. So that was pretty freaking cool. I got to see him, but I couldn't see his face features real well. After he let go of me, and I saw that he had a helmet on, I looked over to my northeast and saw 5 beings lined up flying as well, going west. See all these people right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 beings. Some of them were human, some of them were alien. I was observing them, and the 3 people in the middle were human beings, militaristic, and had hats on. There was at least 1 female in the mix. The 2 beings on the other sides of them were aliens, but I could not remember what they looked like, and I'm pretty sure they were not reptilians. I think they were Greyz, but I don't know why. Why do I remember the 3 in the middle were clearly human beings, and why? It's like he blocked my memory or something about the 2 aliens that were on the outside of the 3 human beings flying in outer space. The 2 beings on the other sides of them were aliens, but I cannot remember what they looked like. I think the reptilian blocked my memory or something, because I should have not forgotten that. Okay, so those 5 beings were doing official business. That was just business and normal daily activity, so to speak, for those militaristic humans to be flying in outer space with the aliens. I do not believe in real life that they really do that. Anyway, all 3 humans in the middle gawked at me and my reptilian boyfriend, so to speak, and gave me the mind telepathy of, oh, here we go again, another human thinking it is fun to dabble with the reptilians. Like as though me and the reptilian were just being nuisances. Like we were just up there in outer space being, brats and being nuisances. Because for them, it was official business. Because for them, it was very businesslike, and that was their job to dabble with the aliens. So it was not fun for them. It was a job. It was a job for them. Okay, so when I let go of the reptilian, and vice versa, he started floating away from me, kind of like when you see skydivers let go of each other in mid-air. Was what this experience was like. Yeah, and by the way, those thoughts, he probably got those thoughts from my brain about how they were doing official business and all that. He probably got that from my brain because, because I've had thoughts myself, about how if I get out-of-body experiences and virtual reality experiences every damn morning, it's going to get too like it's becoming a job for me, and it's going to take the fun out of it. So I don't necessarily want these out-of-body experiences and virtual reality experiences. I could probably get them every day if I really wanted to. They probably would give them to me, but I don't want them just every day, because then it becomes like a job, and it'll take the fun out of everything. And maybe that's why he put that in my scenario, those thoughts with these 5 beings flying in outer space. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, like if you punch on YouTube when skydivers, I don't know how the hell they do it. When they let go of each other, and then they can catch up with each other and catch each other's hands and shit. I don't know how the hell they do it. I guess they have to put a certain weight on them. I don't know. But that's what it was like when we let go of each other. It was so freaking cool. Okay, so finally, he put me back in bed after this first abduction. When I was back in bed, I was still groggy, and I was trying to train the reptilian. I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, you are supposed to take me to a virtual reality scene after the out-of-body astral travel part. You aren't supposed to put me back in bed yet. And I was thinking, shit, this experience wasn't good enough to post on YouTube. It is like I was telling him, you're giving me a shitty substandard experience, and he was a newbie to giving people abductions, and I wasn't happy with his skills. LMAO. I think he contrived all this. That this reptilian rock to give me this experience, but I think he contrived all of this and made me think he was giving me some shitty ass experience for whatever reason. I have seen lots of reptilian beings, but during the experiences, sometimes they won't show themselves clearly. I did see the being's face who gave me that experience recently to the town of Monette, and I probably am going to do a quick video, a 10-minute or 12-minute video on that. Recently, a couple weeks ago, they took me to a town of Monette, and I was asking for that. I was like, when are you going to take me to another town, city, state, country, whatever? But that was more like a dream. Still pretty clear dream, but it was more like a dream. A lucid dream, I guess you could call it, but it wasn't even that. He was kind of scary looking. They like to show themselves before my experience, I noticed, but not often during the experience. Like I said, I've seen thousands of ETs. I've seen tons of types of reptilians, tons of types of Greyz, and even other types that don't have a name. And then, of course, I've seen I've seen Nordics, I've seen the Psyllide little beings. But I've seen, when you start talking to them, lots of them will show up in your consciousness. Okay, so recently, they like to show themselves before my experience, I noticed, but not often during the experience. So then, when the reptilian put me back in bed, and after telling him, hey, you are supposed to take me to a virtual reality experience or dimension, after you take me out of body and do the astral travel and fun part and all that, then boom, he abducted me again, out of body style, and plopped me down at a very familiar, huge apartment parking lot. It was dusk, and as I was walking through a very familiar parking lot, walking south, were tons of people standing around and walking around in chaos, worry, and fret, because they knew a big asteroid was going to hit. There was already fire in one corner as though a small asteroid already hit the ground as I walked past, and a lot of orange colors of fire I saw while walking through the apartment complex parking lot. And there was a lot of people standing around, in chaos and worry and fret and everything. The people were standing around chaotically. But I wasn't afraid for my life because I knew I was out of body and not really part of that dimension, so to speak. But after I got back to 3D after the experience, the apartment parking lot was not familiar to me at all. But in the experience, he made it seem like it was. But in the experience, it was very familiar. The same goes with some of the people the aliens put in my scenarios. Sometimes they'll look so familiar in my experience, and then of course after I get back in 3D, I'm thinking, I'm still trying to think, who the heck are those people? Who the heck were those kids, Okay, so also during the second abduction, while walking around the apartment parking lot, I had these thoughts. Well, he, meaning the reptilian, took me to just a boring place I already know. Okay, so anyway, also during the second abduction, while walking around in the apartment parking lot, I had these thoughts. Well, he, meaning the reptilian, took me to just a boring place I already know, and I have lived here before, so this experience is just boring and there isn't much to it. So then when I got back to 3D, I won't really be able to talk about it. So when I get back to 3D, I won't really be able to talk about it. I think the reptilian contrived all this. I don't know why he wanted me to think he was giving me a boring ass experience. Like I say, that reptilian rocked who gave me this experience, you know, in outer space and everything. It was still very, very fun. And they have a sense of humor. So, yeah, so it was really weird. So, like, even when I was walking around, you know, the apartment complex that looked so familiar to me, but it really wasn't after I got back in 3D, you know, I was like, wow, he's just taking me to a boring-ass parking lot. You know? It's so weird, but yeah, they can control all of that. I think he contrived everything. But yeah, this experience was fun. Okay, well, thanks for listening.